guy. I bet he was like something like Ozzy like band.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we're rocking down here at TFL Car. It's me and Nathan saying howdy. Thanks for joining us live for this What Car or Truck Should I Buy? And today we got a great show, Nathan. What are we doing?
We're doing what car or truck should I buy when it comes to Memorial Day weekend. And why is that?
Because there's cash on the hood. Lots of cash from $2,500 all the way to $20,000. These are the cars that are being discounted, the new cars. So we thought if you're out there new car shopping on Memorial Day, these are the cars that you can get great deals on.
Hell yeah. And keep in mind, guys, that this is just the start. You guys can negotiate the hell out of these prices and rake them over the coals, please. We don't like salespeople anyway. Just go get them.
Go get them. Yeah, and these are not discounts. These are just the discounts that the manufacturer is offering. There may be, and there probably is, a lot more money out there to be had, especially if you look at like local discounts, dealer discounts, all kinds of other discounts. But these are the ones that are being advertised. And Nathan, this list comes to us from MotorTrend/Automobile, the affiliate IntelliChoice, comb through official incentives to get these numbers. And these are the top 30.
These are the top 30, and I think we should just get to it. We've got a lot to go through.
Yeah, we've got a lot to go through. We'll talk about the car as we also go down the list. So we'll start with the least incentive to the highest incentive. And then the thing you guys might want to keep in mind are not the cars that are on the list, but the cars that aren't.
Yeah, think about that. There are some cars, some whole automakers that are not on this list, and there may be a couple good reasons for that.
All right. Number 30, Nathan, is the Hyundai Santa Fe. The incentive right now is $2,500, and that is a hell of a good car.
It's one of my favorites in the list. I did a recent thing where I compared it against a, believe it or not, Volvo, but I did it because I wanted to show the difference between wagons and SUVs and crossovers, and that vehicle is surprisingly good. And if you get it with the turbocharged engine, you have a really good crossover.
Yeah, I like that car a lot. It's got everything that you'd want and nothing you don't. We did a lot of fun reviews with that vehicle. It's brand new, actually.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised they're discounting it because the Palisade's coming out. They want to get as many Santa Fe's off the lot before the new Palisade hits.
Yeah, well, that would make sense, but you'll understand that there's another Hyundai product on the list that also makes you scratch your head. We'll get to that in a minute.
All right, number 29, Nathan.
It's the GMC Yukon. Now, that one is another $2,500 incentive vehicle. Keep in mind, it's old, and we have it on pretty good authority that it's about to be replaced.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those cars that is a perennial bestseller, but at this point, it's been out there a long time, and I think it needs to move so that the new one can come and take its place.
Well, there's a lot of old tech on it, and the rumor has it, and once again, pretty good authority here. Independent rear suspension, new platform, new looks, new interior.
Hey, I want to do some shout outs just to some people. Boney Chuck says howdy. I'm going to say hi back to you, Boney Chuck. I'm just picked the funniest name out there. Ram V says hello. Angel Gutierrez says, hey there. So hi there, guys. And of course, Dan Atkinson is here. Thank you for joining us today, all of you. We really appreciate you having us. And if you're watching this after it's been recorded, please note this is our live show. It's live.
That's right, guys. But we will be answering some questions later on once it becomes a regular video. What's up, boss?
So I think one thing that's interesting with the Yukon to mention is the fact that it's on the list, but the Tahoe is not. And I think the reason for that is the Tahoe is just less expensive to begin with. And they also sell in greater numbers. So perhaps GMC is incentivizing their vehicles to shore up their sales numbers.
That might be
Chevrolet.
Yeah, that's a good point. So bring it more within character of what the Chevrolet's selling at. But once again, it also is an old vehicle, long in the tooth, and it will be going away soon with the replacement coming right after it. Let's get to number 28, which actually kind of surprises me a little bit because I think it's a damn good vehicle, and that's the Acura MDX.
Once again, $2,500. And by the way, we got a guy watching from Stockholm, Sweden.
Hey, how
Stockholm.
you doing? Yeah, thank you for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Yeah, the MDX is one of Acura's more popular vehicles. Interestingly, I'm looking down this list, and there is no RDX, Nathan.
No, there's not. That is one of their best sellers, and rightfully so. It's one of their best vehicles. But in terms of, there is another Acura on this list, a little bit further down. But the MDX is powerful, comfortable, capable. It is in almost every way one of the better vehicles in its class. So I am surprised that it's here. But once again, it could be that they're just trying to move more units off the lot.
Hey, you know, if you can get $2,500 off plus on an MDX, more power to you. Now, the one that I'm surprised about is the next one, number 27, and that's the Jaguar E-Pace.
I'm not surprised.
You're not?
No, it's a Jaguar.
That's a new car, dude.
It is a new car, but
You're foreshadowing a bit there.
Jaguars tend to have a little bit of a problem selling in the United States. Look, I'm not saying anything's wrong with them. I love Jaguars. I think they make me look more handsome. But the bottom line is that Jaguars do have a hard time selling. And yeah, the E-Pace, well, yeah, it's a little surprising that's here, but not completely
Now, keep
surprising.
in mind, that's not the electric one. That's
No.
the I-Pace. This is the E-Pace.
This is the E-Pace,
which is the one that slots in below the F-Pace.
That is correct. And they're saying $3,000 in incentives right now, guys. It's not bad.
Same thing for the Hyundai Santa Fe XL. You know, that's the bigger version of the Hyundai. We think we've talked about that. So let's go to number 25. The Chevy Volt. Yeah, that's going away, actually.
It is going away. So they say you can get $3,000. I say you can get a lot more. You might be able to get an awful lot more on this because this car's not coming back. They want to get them off the lot. I think that a lot of GM dealerships want to forget about this car because what it represents with terrible GM PR. But the bottom line is that it's a really good crossover. It's a really good hybrid. I mean, it really is. So yeah, it was worth your time to look at it.
So, you know, my opinion is I love the first gen. It was kind of boxy, kind of cool. And then the second gen looked too much like a Prius, right? They made it more
Oh, it's Prius. I don't know about that.
Prius-y, Prius-like.
I mean, look at that. That's not a Prius. It's just, but it looks a little too much like a regular Chevy. I think
So
is
you know
maybe the problem.
Anton, who covers electric cars?
Yeah.
He has had the first gen for 8 years now, since it initially came out. No problems.
My brother has one.
Yeah, no problems. The only thing he's had to change are brakes, which is after 8 years.
But the first generation also only had 2 seats in the back. This new one kind of sort of has three seat belts, sort of. And it's a little bit more car-like. I still think that the car had a longer shelf life. It should have lasted longer. But nonetheless, you can get it for a really cheap rate because they're saying up to $3,000 in incentives.
And by the way, the Blue XB is asking if we have any cars that we want to feature on Dude, I Love My Ride or Hate My Ride. Yes, if you have a brand new car that you've purchased in the last, let's say, 3 months, we would love to feature you. So shoot us an email to info@TFLcar, and we would love to have you on the show.
Hell yeah. And if it's cool, that's even better. So if it's a really not cool car, maybe not. Sorry, but you know who you are. Let's continue.
The Chevy Bolt, $3,000.
That's another one. Now, the Bolt is one of the vehicles on the list that I've actually gone to with She Who Must Be Obeyed, my wife, to actually look at in a serious way with the possibility of buying. Which didn't happen, obviously. But if it had, I would have been bummed because it looks like if I had waited $3,000 off the price tag, that's tempting. I like the car. I like the car a lot. I think it's one of the best electric cars out there for the money.
You know, the problem is, of course, the Tesla Model 3, which
is so much more expensive.
No, you can get it for Alex just bought one. Our friend Alex on Alice bought one. He bought the least expensive one. I think he paid at the end, like just under $40,000, and that's what a Bolt will come in at, you know.
Oh, the ones we were looking at were 33.
Yeah, but you know,
and then 30 with this.
They can, but you know, it's
not okay. The Tesla is a much better car in terms of all around everything,
it's got a bigger range.
This has got a really good range, man.
I think it's 240.
230, I think is
238.
Okay, right in. Thanks, boss. Yes. You're right in between the two. Look, I drove one all over Los Angeles, and the thing is it's not a very pretentious car, and you won't have people keying you like you will when you drive a Tesla, or you won't have people slamming it into walls like you will when people drive Teslas. You won't. That was funny. Come on, that was funny, Roman. All right, let's continue.
So I got to answer this question. Ronald McDonald wants to know if there's a special story behind what I'm wearing. You know, I love this sweatshirt. Because
he's a skater.
Yeah, because I used to skateboard as a kid, and every time I wear it, I get the comment every time, "Does Roman know that's a skateboarding jersey?" Yes, I know it's a skateboarding jersey. You didn't invent it. I grew up boarding, so you know, just leave me alone. We had like wooden boards with rocks for wheels.
Yeah. Now, guys, if you want to watch Roman on a skateboard, send money to info@TFL Car. The thing is that I would pay out of my own wallet about $100 to see him try to do an ollie. So that's just between us, okay? If we get enough of a collection, maybe.
And speaking of TFL gear and helping to support the channel, we're going to have some limited edition sweatshirts coming out that are going to be numbered, Nathan.
Super limited.
Only 100 of them. They're going to have TFL car here, TFL truck there, the little patch. They're not going to be cheap.
No.
They're going to be numbered and exclusive. So we are going to be using that to raise some money to buy more action cams, actually.
Yeah, pretty much.
We keep running them over.
I know it's a bad thing. But so keep an eye out for that because we'll have some promos about that in the future.
All right, I'm going to bunch these next.
No, seriously.
Number 23, 22, 21, 20, and 19 are all 3,000. And let me just go down the list. Audi Q8, Q7, A8, A7, Audi A6.
What the hell, Audi? Holy cow. All of them are discounted or incentives of $3,000. Now, guys, I don't know about you, but that's kind of like red flag right there because that's a lot of cars. That's half their fleet. Oh, wow, Audi.
Yeah. Hey, somebody's asking if there's any rebates on Lexus or Toyotas. No.
Well,
No.
Nothing significant. You can go in, I've looked online, like the new RAV4. You can get decent financing deals if you have good credit, but nothing kind of above and beyond what the industry standard is.
And that's actually surprising me because the RAV4 is one of the really big sellers, but perhaps that has to do with the fact that they really want to combat the Rogue and also the CRV. That's a possibility.
So here's a question for you guys. So last quarter, Audi sales fell off a cliff. And this is, in a way,
they really did. Yeah.
reflected here. The cars, which were red hot for a long time, aren't selling. Now, the former head of Audi for America just left Audi and went to Volkswagen.
He ran.
Scott, I wonder if he saw it coming.
Avita Zane, boom, he's out of there.
Now he's heading up Volkswagen. So what's going on with Audi? How come their sales have fallen off a cliff, Nathan?
I think part of it has to do with the design. They've lost their brio. They've lost some of their character. And
their mojo?
Their mojo,
They
yeah.
lost their mojo?
They used to be this car company that had badass cars, and they had like some might to them, and they were really specialized to the driver. And I don't feel like they're like that anymore. They're kind of like a mommy-daddy company as opposed to what they used to be. Now, this is my own personal opinion. I could be completely wrong, but they still build quality cars, don't get me wrong, but they just don't have that character that they used to have.
I think they all look too much alike. Zach called it the, what'd you call it, Zach?
Nesting doll syndrome.
Nesting doll syndrome. Yeah, I was recently on the e-tron launch, and by the way, that video will be out there on Friday. That's going to be part of our Thrifty 3 series. I hope you'll enjoy it. Worked really hard on that one.
Yeah.
But there was like an Audi Q8 next to a Q7 next to an e-tron. I could not tell them apart. I looked at them, and then somebody actually had to point out and say, that's the e-tron, that's a Q8, and that's a Q7. They look that much like, and keep in mind the Q7 is old, Nathan. It's not even the current light pattern.
I think it's becoming more and more of a problem with automakers making their cars look too much alike. There has to be a way to differentiate between them, and that's an issue. Let's move on, shall we?
Yeah, please.
Actually, this one is something that one of my family members owns. My sister has a Buick Encore, and they're offering up to $3,250 in incentives. It's not that expensive to begin with. It's actually a perfectly good little all-wheel drive runabout that has a nice interior, which is exactly why she bought it. She's tiny, like 110 pounds soaking wet, and when she drives, you could only see her knuckles at the steering wheel. So, it's perfect for small people. That's about all I got.
Yeah, I don't have anything about that car. I'll go number 17, the GMC Savannah. That's $3,500 as well.
Which I'm really surprised they still build.
Yeah, it's been around.
It's more of a fleet vehicle. But if you look at this incentive, right, and you have a giant fleet where you have to fill, all of a sudden this becomes a lot of money if you can get this incentive on each vehicle and you buy, say, 10.
All right, the next one, number 6.
Zach?
We can wait.
Okay.
Yeah, number 16 is $3,500, but it's a lot more in real life.
Oh, yeah.
So it's the Chevy Silverado 1500, the new one. You can get a lot more off that truck. I'm thinking you can get close to probably $10K if you work it.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of even more, especially vehicles that have been loitering on a lot for a while. Some people do some
Especially
recon.
if you go with the older model. There's still some of those are out there, the previous gen.
Which it was a perfectly good truck, in my opinion. So, yeah.
Some people say it was a better truck.
Some people do.
Same power plant.
Yeah. You have more modern goodies inside the newer ones, but not much. It's a really big question. And speaking of Chevy vehicles, let's go to number 15. because that's another Chevy.
Yeah, the Chevy Express. It's basically the same as the Savannah, relatively cheap. I'm, like I say, surprised they're still making it.
Yeah, $3,500. Once again, that's a really big deal if you can get if you have a fleet and you need a couple dozen of these
Yeah.
things, all of a sudden you're saving a lot
I
of
mean,
dough.
the thing about both those, right, is they're kind of old school vans.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, both Ford and Nissan and Mercedes have brought kind of the city vans into the market, which are these much more kind of specifically designed vehicles. They didn't take like an existing power plant and a chassis and make it into a van. These are specifically designed
as vans from the big
to
get-go.
be used for plumbers and
Sure. Well, these old vans that General Motors is peddling, they're frankly based on technology that's 50 years old.
Yeah,
Think about
yeah,
it.
they've been around a long time.
Platforms that are long and they're very
Not fuel
tippy.
efficient.
Not really.
You can't see around them very well.
No, but I mean, if you have a company that needs to haul a bunch of stuff, one of these might still work for you.
And let's face it, the tooling's been around for so long. They got to be pretty money.
Oh my God, they got to be pretty money. Whenever they sell one of these things, they pop a cork of champagne. Let's go on to another GM product, which is the Sierra 1500. It's the GMC, and they're offering up to $4,000 in incentives.
So again, I think the reason they're incentivizing this more heavily than the Silverado
Starts
is
higher.
The Sierra doesn't sell as well as the Silverado.
Nowhere near as well, yeah. It's a funny thing because
I love the AT4 actually.
that's exactly what I was going with that.
Yeah, that's a sexy truck.
If Roman were to give me an awesome holiday bonus, it would be buy a lot of our sweaters, guys. Then I would consider. This is one of the trucks I've considered. I know you guys know that I love Rams, but the AT4 is such an amazing truck. It's ridiculous, and my wife doesn't hate it, but at the same time she doesn't like it, which is great. That means it's perfect. But unfortunately, it's also extremely expensive. So getting up to $4,000 off on a Sierra 1500 is a good start. I think they need to quadruple that in order for me to even remotely think about it.
And you know it's going to be higher when you go work it at the dealership.
Sure.
It's going to be higher. All right, number 13, Nathan. We're getting into the top 10 is the GMC Acadia, $4,000 as well.
Have you noticed a recurring theme here, guys?
Yes, there's a lot of GM in them.
Yeah, the Acadia, there's really nothing wrong with the Acadia.
Well, it's a good car.
It's a perfectly good car. It's a great family vehicle. It performs
It's a little
well.
plain Jane, but beyond that, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, some
you
people
don't
like
want
it.
a lot of salsa in your family hauler, do you?
Okay.
I mean, if I was going to do that, I'd get the Blazer. If you're going to go down that route.
Oh, no. Don't say the B word. No.
Blazer.
Swing a dead cat over my head. Spit twice. Bad luck.
I'm saying if you're going to get a GM product in that.
But this is going to be a lot cheaper. And, I really do like the powertrain setups that they have in that vehicle. Altogether, I think it's a damn good ride. It's not my first choice, but it's a good choice. So the fact that they're offering, look at this, $4,000 off, in incentives at least, that's pretty good.
People want to know thoughts on how to get a Wrangler. You can get a discount on a Wrangler. Our dealership was discounting them, I think, like $3,000 to $4,000 on the 2018s. And there's no difference between the 2018s and 2019s. So
None.
find some used 2018s out there, not used new, but not sold, and you'll get a relatively good discount. I'm
Even
thinking,
2019s are starting to be discounted.
Yeah, I think $500 was officially $500, and then you could swing more from the dealer. But let's say you could get $4K off. Probably not that same discount on the Gladiator though.
Oh no! For a while, you're going to see the Gladiators commanding an absolute premium in price, and eventually, hopefully, it'll start swinging back over. You have to take care of all the guys who've been chomping at the bit who want one, and then it'll die out a little bit. And I think because of that, you'll see Wrangler sales come back.
Multi-purpose reviewer asks, are there any small four-wheel drive vans more affordable than the Sprinter? The real question is,
yes.
Are there any? No, hold on. Are there any four-wheel drive vans besides the Sprinter?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Not right now. There
No.
will be.
Well, no, but yes.
No, not
yes.
yet. No.
Yes.
What is it?
Yes.
What?
Nissan. Nathan. The Nissan NV actually has right now available, if you go to the right dealerships, a Nissan NV with the Titan front end, which actually gives you a four-wheel drive vehicle, a proper four-wheel drive vehicle. And they are selling them, and they have warranties. And we just put this...
These aren't like factory things.
No. They order the front end from the factory. Yeah, they order the front end from the factory.
No.
They have factory certified people who put them on, and it is warranted. I'm telling you, I had to sit
some
through
kind of a weird hybrid
no,
monster
it's
thing.
no, it's So go to TFLtruck.com and
I
you'll
know what
see
you're
the
saying,
story on
but
it.
are they actually building them? You know, you have to order them, and then they have to retrofit it right. It's not like it's built. The only one you can get right now that comes as a 4-wheel drive from the factory, is the Sprinter.
Dan
Okay,
Atkinson
Ford.
did get it though. The Ford Transit will
Yes.
have an
Damn,
all-wheel
I was
drive
gonna
option.
say it, Dan. You got me before. Yeah, the Ford, but that's actually all-wheel drive. It's not 4-wheel drive. Just so you know, it's more of an all-wheel drive.
We're running
system.
out of time, Nathan.
Sorry, I
Number
just
12, Buick Envision.
Okay, yeah, the Buick Envision's another
family
it's
car.
like a perfectly good family car.
Let's skip to number 11 because this is
Well,
interesting.
can we say how much? $4,250 incentive on that one. Okay, the next one's a little surprising. Well,
Yeah.
maybe not to you. I don't know. And that's the Porsche Panamera.
Yeah, you know, the problem, of course, that $4,500 off that you get from a Porsche is that it represents like 1% of the acquisition. It's not.
You know what that is? That's like one option on their list too. Seriously, $4,500 is like okay, special type of carpeting or a stripe.
Well, yeah, once again, a 4-door Porsche that's not a crossover is being discounted. Who would have thunk?
Yeah,
It's a great car.
It's a wonderful car. The few that we've had wonderful experiences with, but they're not hot sellers for Porsche. Their SUVs are.
Okay, let's keep going. Number 10, the Buick Regal.
Yeah, the Buick Regal. Interesting. We were just having a conversation about the Regal. The Regal is on the way out to a certain degree because bear in mind that the Opel vehicles that GM used to have are eventually moving over to a PSA platform. We don't know what's going to happen. But for now, the Regal is it's never been a hot seller. It's a damn decent car. You know, Roman and I got a chance to drive an all-wheel drive turbocharged version of one in, Nova Scotia.
Like 5 years ago now.
Yeah. That was an awesome time. Good car though, a little bit tight on the back seat, but you know it's a pretty damn solid vehicle. So, and the incentive is $4,500.
Let me just go number 9 and number 8. They're all Buick. So it's Buick Regal, Buick Enclave, and Buick Cascada. And the one I would probably get is a Cascada because Cascada,
Cascada, because you have hair, and because when the convertible top opens, it goes through your lovely hair.
No, because it's like one of the only 4-seater convertibles you can buy today. What's another 4-seater convertible?
Mustang.
Camaro. No, hold on. When I say 4-seater, I mean like you could put more than let's call it a set of golf clubs in the back seat. That actually has like room
Like
for
proper 4-seat.
Yeah,
you'd have to move your way up to the much larger Mercedes-Benz or something like that in order to get.
But I have a soft spot for that car. You know, it's a rebadged Opel.
It's actually, I don't think it's a bad looking car.
Yeah, it's a little old now. That there are tons of like buttons on the inside. It looks really like 1990s in some ways, but I like it actually. I think it's pretty cool.
I'm thrilled that you like it. I'll
It's
be
a
able to
guilty
make fun of you.
pleasure.
Yeah.
Yes, Zach.
Joey's cleaning lady pointed out in the comments this list is 90% GM. Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
There are 3 brands that kind of dominate, right?
Yeah,
GMC, GM, and Jaguar. Just wait.
Just wait.
And Audi.
Audi's all over the place here too.
Yeah.
No, but there's a lot of GM on this list, which I don't know. That might tell you guys something.
All right, well, we are now well into the top 10, Nathan, and number 7 is a Jaguar.
Yes, but this time it's the I-Pace.
$5,000 off their all-electric car. Wow.
And it's also eligible
brand
for
new.
the $7,500 federal EV credit while that's still available.
And in Colorado, we get $5,000.
We get $5,000 here.
So that would make that car. The car's about $70K, give or take, right, starting. So you could get 5 state, 5 Jaguar, and 7.5 federal. So that's $17,500.
And that's before negotiating.
Yeah, that's before. So let's say you
Well,
get 20K off on that car if you live in Colorado.
So you can get one of those for basically $50,000 is what they're saying in Colorado, maybe.
Yeah, it does. The range, is
That's
okay.
probably that's the one thing that hurts it. It has an all-wheel drive system that's
It's
quite
220 miles, Zach. Is that right? 220-ish.
240.
240. Okay.
good. It needs to be 300. It really does to
Yeah.
be competitive, I think.
I agree.
But I think it looks good. The interior is supposed to be amazing.
0 to 60 in the 5-second range.
Right. Roman and Nick did not let me drive one because I wasn't cool.
We
but
never had one.
You guys went to Britain and drove one.
No, we went to Portugal and drove one.
Worse, it's even cooler there.
We never had one here though.
All right. Well, anyway.
Ooh, number 6 is interesting. 5K off on this.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
old. The Cadillac Escalade.
Escalade.
Slade,
Speaking
man,
of-
the Slade.
Speaking of Portugal, they're offering up to $5,000 off in incentives. Now, guys, Wow, there's a lot of noise out there. The bottom line with this vehicle is that it hasn't been selling as good as it used to. It used to be the absolute preeminent.
And then Lincoln came out with
the
Navigator did.
And honestly, this vehicle has had some problems. They've had some
Quality
reliability
problems.
issues.
Quality problems. Yeah.
They are looking at bringing out an all-new one. Once again, they're talking about independent rear
I just
suspension.
read it's going to be put off one more year, so 2021, not 2020.
Guys, GM, get your stuff together, man. So, yeah, I mean, look, if you love this current model, $5,000 off, and that's to begin with, okay? So that's the incentive. Wow, I'm actually really surprised, and at the same time, a little underwhelmed. Shall we move on to our final GM product on the list?
Yeah, the Buick LaCrosse 5500. It's a discontinued model. Of course.
Yeah, it's going away, like this year.
Yeah.
So
I always thought it was a good car with a bad name.
yeah, it's a
LaCrosse
sucky name.
It's just a weird name.
Well, not just
But
that,
it's been
but
around for a long time.
It also has a bad reputation as an old person's car.
The LaCrosse, an old person's car? A Buick LaCrosse, Zach?
No.
No. Hard to believe. Come on.
If you are the type of person who loves a luxurious ride and you don't care about titles,
But against the rest of Buick, or at least what Buick's trying to become, trying to establish an
more
youthful
youthful
brand, like with the Regal GS,
which
and
did
the Cascada, and crossovers like the Encore. This is it just sits there like this big fuddy-duddy sedan.
you said fuddy-duddy.
Yeah.
He said it live.
All right.
Yes.
All right, let's move on. The next 3, 4, 3, 2 are Jaguars, Nathan. Are you surprised? The Jaguar XF, $7,000 off. The Jaguar F-Type, $8,000 off. And the Jaguar XJ, $9,000 off. So let's start with the XF, which I actually like. I think that it's a slow seller. It has never sold, but I like the XF.
Yeah, I've never driven one. I'm looking forward to doing that one day if they're still around.
It's an interesting car. Now, the F-Type, of course, is the car that you should buy and hold on to for 30 years because it's absolutely beautiful.
Ugh, I love it.
That
one I have driven.
I don't fit, Nathan. That's one. You did a list recently of cars that aren't good for big and tall guys. That's one of them. I just don't fit in that car.
That's okay. I could find a way. Oh, we got a...
You get a little submission. Hey, it's the Vito. You should totally explain to people that Rove Jag is powered by a Ford EcoBoost and their 9-speed ZF transmission, adding weight, no power. And we got another one, $499. Hey guys, I'm looking at the Toyota Open Country ATs or BFG K2s. I like the BFG K2s.
Absolutely, the KO2s. I have them on one of my vehicles. I've had nothing but good luck with them for almost 25,000 miles.
Those are really interesting tires. Of course, BFG is owned by Michelin.
Yeah.
And those tires are good in the snow. They're good off-road. They have strong sidewalls. So
they're not that loud on the highway.
They're not that, and they last.
Yeah.
They'll last you easily 30 to 40,000 miles.
Yeah, the trick is, and I have very little wear in mine, I've been rotating them a lot. So I've been rotating them about every 5,000, 6,000 miles. I highly recommend you do that, especially if you have an off-road vehicle that doesn't go off-road that often. I'm serious. It will help them last even longer. So yeah, I would definitely the BFGs.
All right. What about the Jaguar XJ? $9,000.
Well, it's an old model. I think, Zach, they're about to replace it, aren't they? Don't they have like a major update for it?
Supposedly, but the current one's been around since 2011.
Yeah, pretty much since Tommy was born. So, it's been around for just bloody ever, and they haven't done enough changes to it. Yeah, they made a couple minor...
It's an old school Jag.
They did make it all-wheel drive.
Yeah, and it's aluminum, so it's very light. It's got a really good supercharged engine. It's fast.
It's beautiful, I think. It's a pretty car.
It's beautiful. It's the kind of car that you'd want to see like the Queen in, right? That's the kind of car you'd be like, hey.
Any queen would be fine in there.
Yeah, like that. That's right. That's the Queen way, right?
That I think so.
It doesn't do this, right? It's not this. You wouldn't be doing that.
Well, you could be, but you have to be the right type of rocker. Yeah. Look, the thing is with that car is it's been around for just ever, and unfortunately, it's $9,000 is an awful lot for an incentive. And if you look at that, and then you run certain discounts around the dealership's heads, I bet you can get 20 grand off that damn car.
Or just wait for one to come off lease, and you can get them to pay you for it.
Yeah, trade in your Hyundai accent for it.
Depreciation on the Jaguars. It's a funny story, Nathan. Jaguar really came in after Tata bought them.
Yeah.
And refreshed their entire model line.
They did.
But they didn't get the one thing that they needed to get right, which was reliability, right?
It's better.
It's better.
It's better. Way better than it used to be.
But still, it's like Fiat came in, right? And Fiat, of course, every time we said Fiat, somebody in here will type it. Fix it again, Tony.
Yeah, they had one job. One job.
And then they came in and...
Now, to be fair, if we're talking about Fiat, the 500, the base model 500, the regular 500, even the Abarth, they're fairly reliable. They've actually have a fairly good record, but it's all their other cars that aren't so great. So there you go. Hey, let's get to number one.
Number one, 20K, dude, 20K.
I love this car. It's the Acura NSX.
Yeah, they just slashed the price, 20K, and of course, it's not an inexpensive car.
No, it's not. Prices start at $159,300.
Sure
That's before the
That's
incentive.
before the 20.
Before the $20,000 off. And you could probably get a little bit of a deal off the top of that
You
as
need
well.
quite the raise to buy one of those.
Yeah, thank you, Roman, please.
That's more than our annual budget.
It's a funny, some people love this car, some people hate this car. It's kind of a polarizing car. I think that it is sort of like a discount P1. You get all that awesome technology. Granted, not quite as crazy on the streets, but what an amazing car, and I like the way it looks too.
You know, I think the NSX is a car that I would love to buy right now and hold on to because it's got exact formula you want for a car that's going to appreciate like crazy, right?
Limited numbers.
It's limited numbers. People aren't buying them.
Right.
It had a pretty, mixed reputation when it came out, and it has the pedigree or the provenance of Acura and the halo car for Acura, and I think you combine all that and you make for a car, and it's of course it's really cool,
really fast,
really cool,
and handles amazing.
Yeah, and they, I'm sure for every one they sell, they probably spend $1 million. That's true. I mean, it's really
it's extremely expensive for that car. What's up, Zach?
So there are a couple.
So buy it and hold on to it.
Yeah. There are a couple reasons I think this is a smart move. So before they did this incentive, they quietly introduced
This orange
incentive
one
in March.
Mm-hmm.
The Acura NSX is priced more or less in Audi R8 territory. So you knock 20 grand off the price and it looks like a great deal against an Audi R8.
Sure.
And the second one is it seems to be working because Acura's year-to-date sales have actually picked up, of this car, over 40%.
Now that is significant
They
considering
didn't sell that many, so it's
Yeah,
not
I mean,
like
how many is that? Like 4 more? Yeah.
probably 10.
Even still, I mean,
But what's
They're selling
important,
more.
they're getting more out there on the streets. By the way, if everything goes well, I will be driving another one of these in the very near future, which I'm really excited about. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be happening next month. The thing about this car, which I
I think
really
you're more
want to stress,
excited than they are.
I know. The thing about this car that's incredible is the fact that they use such an advanced hybrid system mixed in with an excellent power plant to give you proper all-wheel drive capability. I drove one on snow and ice, and it was awesome. I was sideways, I was having a blast, and then I push a button, and it drives like it's absolutely stuck to the ice.
Joy's cleaning lady says, Acura SX, a supercar for the dentist. You know, you could say that, but like 30 years from now, when those things are over $1 million, you're gonna be a
really, really well-paid dentist.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a great car, and I know that some people just find them a little too mellow, maybe, but I truly think Acura really screwed up when they introduced it too.
Yeah, they rolled it out.
The rollout was terrible.
There was like that Seinfeld.
And also what's his name,
Leno, and then it didn't come out. And then remember, we kept it was hilarious.
Like 5 years of
we
this.
We kept going to the auto show, and they kept having it there. It was like
it's a prototype.
And then they would unveil it. Now we're going to open the driver's door, and you can look inside. And the next year, now we're going to open the passenger door.
They'd slap your hand if you got too close to it, and oh no,
hood.
Yeah, so it took a long time. The development was God only knows why it took so long. We know a couple minor reasons. Anyway, long story with that car. Point is, $20,000 in incentives on that car. Quite good.
So Nathan, what cars are missing here? Remember we said that what's more interesting is what cars. So there's no Toyotas.
No Toyotas.
No Lexus.
No Lexus.
No. There's an Acura, but no Honda.
There's no Hondas, and there's no Mercedes-Benz.
There's no Ford.
That's surprising. You know what else is really surprising? No Nissan.
Yes, no Nissan.
Wow, I would be putting incentives all over my Nissan product if I had them. That's for sure.
No Mercedes.
Yeah, no Mercedes.
Yeah. No BMW.
No BMW, although that's kind of a strange thing too. BMW needs a little bit of help with their sales. No Mini. So there are quite a few cars that are missing from this list. Now, bear in mind, that doesn't mean you can't get great discounts on them. So
no.
keep that in mind.
And Memorial Day is traditionally a good day to go out there and get a discount from your local dealer. They have the little barbecues. They've got the clown. They got the
get the little wavy guys. Bring the kids and let them be bored while someone tries to talk you into a car.
Car sales are slowing down. Inventories of vehicles are increasing on the lot. The C7 Corvette, that's a great one to buy right now. There's no incentive on it, but I bet you can get a hell of a deal. And with that, Nathan, I say we call it quits and come back tomorrow with these questions that people have, because we ran out of time.
We did indeed, but we have a lot of questions to answer, guys. So stay tuned for tomorrow. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, and if you're watching this, and once again, we're live, so I'm really reading a lot of comments like, I don't like this. I like when you guys are outside. This is our live show. By the way, it's not a podcast. We just use these.
Yeah, because so we don't spit all over the mics.
Yes, but this is our live show, so if you're watching it, just keep that in mind. And check out TFL Car. We should give them a little preview of what's coming up this week. On TFL Car, we just published a video where me and you argued about the CVT.
The death of the continuously variable transmission. It's a really good video.
And then tomorrow is a video you've all been waiting for on TFL Truck. Nathan, you know what that is?
No.
It's the Gladiator going up the Ike Gauntlet, and that is publishing tomorrow morning. So if you've been waiting for that video, I think you'll be surprised by the results. That is going up tomorrow up on TFL Truck. So finally, the Gladiator.
Finally, guys. Okay, I think we're good to go.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Thanks for watching.
Want to play us out?
Yeah, I'll play us out. Thanks for watching, guys, and thanks for all your support. And hopefully by the end of this week, we'll have those sweatshirts. I'm really excited.
Scott Robertson, it's not the wrong information. We actually are. These incentives are real. So yeah.
Yeah. Why would they be the wrong?
I don't know. There we go.